All right, so last section, 710. This is for problems in the real world that are continuous. So we're not going to be using the old formulas. And the key word here is you're going to see the word continuously, like down here. Okay, and if you think about the word continuously, it has a long E sound at the end, which means these formulas both use the E. So we're not going to use the ones always we've already used. And when you're having a test with all the different questions, you got to pay attention. When you see the word continuously, you're going to use the E formulas. If you don't see continuously and you just see compounded monthly, daily, weekly, you're going to use the other formulas. Okay, so we have continuous growth or decay, all right, which is very similar to our previous one. Okay, we're going to say A equals future value, A sub O with our E for continuously, and we have a K here instead of R and T for time. Very similar idea. And then down here for money, future value, principal, E, and again, we're going to have RT here. So R is our rate. Remember, as a decimal, not as a percent. So, based on statistical research since the year 2000, the world's population is growing continuously in billions of people according to the equation. So here's our equation. Now we have some questions on it. How many people were there in 2000? Well, this is our starting point. So that means 6 billion based on right here. What is the rate of growth? That's right here. That's 0.012, but we're going to change it to a percent because it says as a percent. So we move it twice, and that's 1.2%. What's the value of t in the year 2000? Well, we're in the year 2000. So the year 2000 is 0 years after 2000, okay? Because that 0 would go here. E to the 0 would be 1, and that would leave us at 6 billion. What will it be in 2020? So that's going to be 20 years. So we're just going to plug 20 in here for t, and then we're just going to type that into the calculator. So we're going to turn it on. Maybe we get it to work. That's not what I wanted. There we go. And we're going to hit second ln, which gives us the E. And then we're just going to type in 0.012 times 20, because it's 20 years. And then that times our starting amount of 6 billion. We don't type in all the zeros. And that gives us 7.6 billion, rounded. Okay? 7.6 billion people. When will it reach 12 billion? Okay, so we go and look back at the formula, okay, and we're going to put a 12 in for the future value. And then 6 here, E, and then our number was 0.012, and we put our T here. Now, we need this E to be by itself, so we're going to divide by 6, like so. That's going to give us just 2 here. Now we have E, 0.012 T. Now, we're going to ln both sides because we have an E, okay? And when we do that, this is going to come out in front. But remember, this is going to disappear. So some people just think about it as just dropping down, whatever it works for you. So we have ln2 equals 0.012t. You need to get t by itself. Divide by 0.012. That cancels. And then we just type in our calculator. ln2, now it's very important that you remember to close those parentheses, divided by 0.012. And we get 57.8. So time is 57.8 years. Similar idea, suppose a mint falls on 3 bacteria and 1 second later there's 12 bacteria present. How many will be there after 5 seconds? So here we have the formula. Okay, this is the future amount, the starting amount, and here's our 1 second. So we need to get K by itself. Okay, so what we need to do is, again, like just shown, divide by 3, and that gives us 4 equals E to the 1K. Okay. At this point, we ln both sides. That disappears. So K is basically whatever ln of 4 is. So ln 4 1.39. Now, we use that to find out when t is 5. So this amount, 3e 1.39, and then 5. So second ln 1.39 times 5 times 3. So we round down because we don't have a whole 30th bacteria, so that's 3129 bacteria after 5 seconds. So that's a pretty quick rate of growth. All right, last one. We're going to use this formula right here now. We have $800, 4.5%, so that's 0.045. Okay. How much will be after 5 years? So we have our future amount is 800 times E 0.045 times 5 for 5 years. So we do second E 0.045 times 5 times 800. Now, some have asked, you can also do it this way if you want. You can type in 800, then do the second ln, and then type in the 0.045 times 5, and you'll get the same amount. Now, remember, this is money, so we're going to round the 85 up to 86 cents. So it's 1,001 and 86 cents. How long will it take you to double your money? So there's 2 ways to do this. If we're starting with 800, double the money is 1,600. And then we do E 0.045 and we put T. Okay? Now, I'm going to divide by 800. I'm going to show you the trick after this. This is the notes. Whoops. Not 8,000, 800. Now, when we do that, 1,600 divided by 800 is just going to simply give me 2 equals E to the 0.045 T. I'm going to ln both sides. This basically drops down. I'm going to divide both sides by 0.045. I can just type that in. ln 2, close the parentheses, divided by 0.045. And I get about 15.4 years. But here's a little trick, a little time saver. If you're going to double your money, then no matter what the amount is, this side is always going to be 2. You can actually just start with that. Okay? And then go from there. And then you just ln both sides and you're already down here and you save yourself a step. If it was triple your money, you would just put a 3 here and so forth. So that's a time saver if you want to do it. If not, no big deal. Just a way for you to save a step if you want. And last but not least, if you want to double your money in 9 years, what interest rate would you need? So I'm going to take the shortcut here. I'm going to put the 2 here. I'm going to put the E. And we're trying to find the rate, and this is 9. Okay? We're trying to solve for that rate. So we're going to ln both sides. That gives me ln 2 equals basically 9r. Divide by 9. Okay? ln 2 divided by 9. Don't forget to close those parentheses. 0.077, so that's 7.7%. Here's the nice thing, you could check that out. So future value equals $800, E 0.0779. $800 E 0.077. Whoops. Basically $1,600. So that you can just test it and prove it. That's it.